Hey, welcome. We're in for the weekend. We're gonna try to get as much done as I possibly can. Pick up some of this plywood and stuff. Let's go over the recap. Um, and the recap is for the guys who didn't watch the other 9 hours of video. Okay. Uh, First, I've cut the ribs, shimmed the spars up, laid the spars, set the ribs. I made that special square so that the trailing edge was 90 degrees to the bench and the ribs are 90 degrees to the bench. Set all the ribs, installed the trailing edge. Now, because of my situation, I have to work in a couple of different spots. I had to go over to John's to make the flaps. I have zero power tools here, so I saw on the forum Lanny Shorts' son, David Shorts, was asking about hinging systems. This is the best hinging system. Hey, Alexander. There is a carbon fiber tube embedded in the leading edge of this, set back 3/16 that my hinges work on. So today, what I'm going to do, well, first I'm going to clear this off and we're going to mold some sheeting and I'm going to get that drying. Because by the end of the day, I want to be putting that on. And if I don't do it now and I wait till later, it won't be dry enough to put on. So we're going to mold the sheeting. I'll lock it in my car and it'll dry. So let me put the bell crank away so that doesn't get screwed up. And I have to move all this stuff off here because this is my workbench. This is it. So we're going to undo this. These two wings will come apart in halves. We'll set this aside. We'll set this one aside. I'll show you how I attach these together. We're going to have to cut this out right here. We don't worry about this. We're going to have to Dremel that out right there so that the bell crank can pass through, and then snip off that little stabilizer piece. And I'm also going to be making the compression spar. This wing should go together today. I mean, theoretically, if I get after it. This flap feels really good. I ought to cut that off and see what it weighs. Let's do that. I have the shape anyway, so. Now this is a rough shape flap, so we're going to cut outside the line. I'm kind of curious to see what my flaps are going to weigh. Now I'm at home, so I'm not running on the phone. So if you need to call me, you can. Please make it necessary. Dan, get out of the chair and into the garage. What's going to be bad is if this airplane is done before his. Well, had a hard spot. Oh, it's where the glue was, where the carbon rod was. Okay, that's my hinge pin rod right there. Comes out the end. That wire is going to go in there. There's going to be a screw to hold that wire in so I can remove these flaps. Now, the original intent behind that rod system that John thought of is not to remove the flaps. That's what I'm going to do. His original intent was to be able to finish this inside here to make a nice finished area, which is all right. I mean, my hinges look fine without that extra step. But I like this so that I can remove the elevators and because you remember in my Monado build, I had to make the elevators bigger and I had to saw them off. Okay, this flap here will lose about, well, I'd say at least 25% in shaping. So let's see what this weighs. Come on. It's 1 ounce. 1 ounce. So it should be 3/4 of an ounce, I guess, when it's shaped. I'd rather see it at a 1/2 ounce, but what are you going to do? So let's mold up some wood. At least now I have the shape for the other flap. Okay. Cap strip. I'll turn this light on. Don't need that. We don't need this. We might need these. We won't need that. I can go with the bell crank. We won't need these. Or this. Throw this. And this is such a shame. This is a nice piece of wood. This is 4-pound wood. I guess it's going to have to be here shortly where I'm not going to be able to build this many airplanes a year due to lack of wood. I'm going to have to buy $500 worth of wood and get 2 or 3 pieces out of it. Then, and pick a number, 4 pound, and say we're not going to put a piece of wood that's over 4 pound on my airplane like we used to do. But it took so long to build them because it took so long to get the wood. So I got to figure out some other setup. And Dan, he wants to do composites, do a composite fuselage, and we might. And if you can't get the wood, what are you going to do? I got to do something. Another alternative method of building material. Now, there's a guy in Russia who builds airplanes out of blue foam. I'd like to know what those airplanes weigh. So if you know that guy, have to get a hold of me. I want to ask him questions. We can use Google Translate to speak each other's language. Might as well get something out of Google. You see, why am I standing the bench? Sheeting's going to go face down on this, and I don't want to stand the sheeting more than once. So I don't want a bunch of dings in it. We'll get this cleared off. Any glue globules. That's probably be all right. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go to the hardware store and get a new one. See, because I built 5 airplanes on this. Hard to believe how many airplanes I built since I've been in this little apartment. I think that's good enough. I'll hit it with 180 now. Switch over. Nothing glaring. Okay. If you don't have one of these, steal it from your wife. She'll love you for it. You got to have a dressmaker's tape. Yeah. Okay, good enough. Okay, now, first thing I'm going to do is Stole this idea from Al Rabe because I'm tired of buying expensive ace bandages. So we're going to use bed sheets. With $10 for 2 sheets. 2 sheets ought to be able to wrap 100 airplanes. You know it's not going to go back in this box once I get it out of there too. That's the bummer. So I just want one of them. Hope they're, of course they're not separated. Nope. That was just one giant sheet. I thought it was 2. Yeah, just one. Okay. We're not going to get away easy. All right, so I need to find which way the grain is running. Yes, cloth has a grain. I'm going to cut some strips out of it. About same width as an ace bandage. Got lucky. Got lucky. So I'm going to cut the pleat or the seam off of it. At least this way when the war starts, I'll have some bandage material. And this is what I'm going to use to wrap the sheets with, the mold with. Come on. So, if you're looking for exciting, this video ain't for you. We'll make 4 of these. That should be 1 for each mold. That should be plenty, I hope. If not, I got a few ace bandages. I just didn't want to have to buy all new ace bandages. Al said that he liked using the cotton sheets better because it didn't leave any bandage imprint impressions in the wood. So we're going to find that out. This is the first time I've done this, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. And seeing that it came from the master of molding, I'll heed to his experience. You know, the last time I talked to Al, I never knew he was even sick. When he sent me those molds to his BBQ, and I have to build that airplane now. The only bad thing is such a big mama. There ain't no way to build that under 64 ounces. Big turd. That was another reason why my attempt at that airplane was abandoned, because I needed an airplane for the gnats, and I knew that I wouldn't. I'm just going to build it for the cool factor. Okay, we got 1 done. 3 to go. Okay, where's the roll of tape? Disappeared. Building aided again. I guess I could use a rubber band if I could find those. Which naturally I'm not going to be able to do. Oh, there's a few. I'll just rubber band this up. 1. Come on. Okay. Now, I had to buy this sheet because I didn't have any. But heck, you guys that are married, go in the linen closet, grab a sheet, and rip it up. Your wife will understand, I'm sure. You got to have these rolled up in order to get them on the buck. And we're going to get 4 ready. So if you're looking for excitement, as I stated, this ain't the video for you. Yeah, getting off kilter here. Trying to do it fast. When I called ahead and I wanted Dan to go out and get me a sheet, I just said, go to Goodwill or whatever. He said, well, you know, you can probably get a sheet for 50 cents or whatever, but think about the dirt and the crap. And I said, probably stinks. So these are new, so my wood won't smell like feet. Now, from what I understand, Hunt just tapes it now. He also, we're going to try that too. He just wets the center section. He doesn't wet the whole thing. So we're going to try that using Windex. That's not going quite right, but who cares? I'll get it rolled up. Jeez. Take all day rolling crap up. Maybe that's the leading edges here. Morning, Alan. And Miguel, if I don't say hi or acknowledge your message, I see it. This is hard to do. I'm busy. Okay, so we need two more. Is that right? Yeah, two more. I think we'll make them a little narrower. Like, subscribe, share. Please consider becoming a paid subscriber. This build will be put out to the paid subscribers when I edit this up into one build video. All this business, I'll do a voiceover. It's only going to go to the paid subscribers. So $4.95 a month won't kill you. Sure will help me out. Plus, you get your name in green, like Alan and Alexander and Marcel and so many other guys. It shows that you really support the hobby. So we're going to use these little thin ones on the fuselage bucks. They're not really thin, they're just a little narrower. And for the guys who are new to the channel or who have never built a control line airplane, if you watch this channel, you'll notice that I do a lot of weird stuff. Like I work with the MH871 cutter, and I work with different, Cuts a Lot Pro and some of the other decal making programs and mold making, for landing gear, nose cones. If you watch this channel, you can learn to do many, many things, because I'm of the firm belief Well, it's not only that. I can't afford it. I can't afford to have somebody do it, so I'm going to do it myself. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you want to learn how to do all this stuff, this is the channel for you. To my National Air Force Museum guys, all this stuff I'm doing here is in direct relation to those big models you got hanging on the ceiling, the Sopwith, the Fokers, the Spads, and all that. Matter of fact, when I asked you guys sitting at the bench about dope procedures, you guys hadn't even heard of what I was talking about. That's all covered on this channel. Somewhere in my 2000 videos. Now the live hangouts, they're more of a session of guys getting together and BSing like they were at the field. This is but my Friday, Saturday at John's videos, there's things to be gleaned from there. The how-to tutorials, the hinging stuff, and my thought on engineering of the Nobler and so on and so forth. That's all important stuff, I think. One more, then we can cut some wood. I'll finish cutting this sheet up off camera. Like I say, it should make 30. And these aren't just use once and throw away, it's use once and put away. They get kind of crappy, you can throw them out, but you know what? Let's try one with the pleat on it and see what happens. See if I can use that to roll with, make it easier. If I can leave the pleat on, it'll be a little faster. I'll cut the pleat off if it gets in the way. The hem. Now, how am I going to stuff that sheet back in that bag? Ain't no way. I'll guarantee that was machine done. "35 minutes and I got nothing cut yet, except for some bed sheets." We're getting there though. leave that pleat on. It rolls up a lot nicer. Okay, 4 wraps. Because we're going to mold 4 things. Extra bed sheet. Enough to do 30 more. Shit, look at that. That's a ton of material. $10. Throw this over here. That many East Bandage would have been $200. Okay, looks like there's glare, so we're gonna switch camera angles. Try this one. All right. First thing you want to do is get the measurements. We don't want to bend up any more wood than we absolutely have to. What happened to my tape? There it is. I believe, might as well measure them out and make sure. I believe we cut these bucks both the same length, so I didn't have to worry about. Yeah. Okay, we need to make 2 sheets. We'll say 29 and a half. 29 and a half by, that's the length. And this is why this is invaluable. At the big end is going to be 9 7/8, but we'll just make it 10. And at the little end, so we want to see if we can get, I only have a few pieces of super light wood. So it's by 7, actually 6 3/4. Six and 3/4. We got our skin size now. I've already selected the wood that I have to work with. I'd like it to be lighter, but it's just not. It's all been weighed and graded. We'll get that. We also I need, before I can put these on, I need to make the shear webs for that wing. Don't let me forget. Because if you don't make them, it's a disaster. Okay, so we need enough for 10 inches. This is 4. So let's see, we're going to do the inboard side. These 2 are 17. So we got 8 inch there. That'll cover the 6 3/4, but we need 10. So the diagonals will be welded, soldered onto that. Now these are 19s. These are not of the best ilk. Let's see, we got some 18s here. We have any more 17s? That's an 18. Now just because it's light doesn't mean it's right. That's an 18. That's an 18. This is the wrong grain. If you look on that grain right there, yeah, it's got a hard spot right there. 18. 17. So we got a 17. Now look at this grain. This is a perfect. I can't get an angle on it. This is a perfect molding piece. Because the grain is straight. I wish it was. Could be a little looser grain, but we're going to loosen it up the best we can. Let's see here what we got. We need to pick the two that are the easiest to bend. That's one of them there. This is an 18. That's a hard one. This is an 18. So how many 17s we got here? This is a 17. Has a hard spot right here. But I think we're going to have to use it because it's all I got. Let's see here. No, I'll use this one and this one. Okay, these two are my centers. The centers are the ones that are going to get molded. So what I think I'm going to do instead of what Bob does, what we're going to, except the glue won't stick to it when it's wet. So I'm going to have to skin it up like I normally do. We won't change up. We'll just figure it out and have to wait a little longer or whatever. Okay, these are my two centers. Inboard. This one's real loose. This is real good. We'll use those two as centers, even though it's got a hoop grain in it. We'll just cut that off. 29.5. Okay, let's get cutting wood. Only took 45 minutes to get cutting wood, but yeah, once you get going, you should be able to do something. Let's see here. I want to cut this hard spot off of it. Hopefully it's out of the 29.5. I'm gonna have a little. So be it. So be it. I'll use this little bag to put my bandages in, I guess. Make up all these bandages and stick them back in the bag. I'll wait till I get this stuff put away. Good piece of wood, you don't want to throw that out. But now that I think about it, I wonder if I could just mold the leading edge. Yeah, I could do that. Mold the leading edge and attach it after it's molded. I have to think on that. I'm always looking for an easier way, easier, faster, better way. We'll use these pieces somewhere. We'll use them in the fuselage extremely light. Okay, let's true up the sides. There it is, right there. This is a pretty important step here if you're going to be joining sheeting. That's pretty close, but we'll still true it up. Ah. I have this metric meter stick. I absolutely hate it except for one thing. This right here. It's a stainless steel or whatever it's made out of, and it's straight. I don't use it for anything. I can't measure with it because I don't understand. I mean, you can, but it's hard to convert metric to American standard. But it's a good straight edge. Okay. We got that one trued up. We'll mark it off for the center line. When you're bending wood, look for its natural tendency. Don't try to go against nature. If it's already cupped in one direction, that's the way you want to bend it. Of course, you can make it do anything you want, but it's just easier on the relief. Because it doesn't matter how I train this wood. If I train it to go in one direction, when it gets out in the sun, it'll do what it wants to do. And that's go back to the way it was grown. The glue in the wood is called ligna. I don't know why we can't find a derivative glue made of ligna, or nobody's looked into that. That way it wouldn't be dissimilar and would probably act better. When I was doing corrosion control on airplanes, they have this thing called dissimilar metal corrosion. So what that means, if you put steel against aluminum, it's going to oxidize. If you put magnesium against aluminum, it's going to oxidize. It's dissimilar metals. So you would think the scientist would figure out, well, the ligna holds this glue fiber together. Why don't we make some glue out of ligna? Try to extract it or duplicate it or something. But no, they ain't that smart, I guess. Or maybe it can't be done. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if it could be done, it'd be some strong shit. Okay, so now we want to measure centers, which, as long as it's close, you know. If we come down to, we know this was a 4-inch piece, which is not anymore. It's 3 3/4, but we'll come down to the center, which will be 1 5/8. No. Shit, I gotta get my calculator. I can't even think today. .75 divided by 2, 1 and yeah, it is. It's 1 5/8. So my brain still is working. Sure doesn't look like center. .875. That's not 5/8. That's let's see, 250, 750 is 3/4. Hey, Dan. Yeah. You'll have extra steak. I got to tell you about Dan's steaks. He treats me so good. I stop by on my way through, you know, when I'm going home. And he was a trucker, so he understands eating well. Big guy, eats a ton of stuff. He goes to the store, he buys a steak that's 2 inches thick and that big around, ribeye. And he cooks it up on the barbecue. We had Brussels sprouts and mashed potatoes. This is lunch. This is not dinner. This is lunch. And then when I'm done, he said, "Well, what do you want for dessert?" God, and he can eat 2 of those. Treats me good. Okay, somebody tell me what 875 is. I can't think off the top of my head. 7/8, 1 7/8. That sounds better. 1 7/8. That's what it is. 875 is 7/8. Should have paid more attention in school. But I knew I'd get it. Why does that look different on that end? Is it a different measurement? Well, I got it off a little bit. That's what the deal is. Okay, this is the center line that goes down the center of the buck. Try to make that as close as you can. We could have went this way with that. And probably should have. Damn. Put the line on the wrong side. Oh well, we're going to have to train it to go the other way. This wood is, if you're not here, you can't see through. But when I hold up to the light, you can see light spots and dark spots in it. Those dark spots, and unfortunately, that dark spot falls right on that line, all the way down. Is a hard spot. So let's look at this one before I get started, and that's right on in the center too. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck. But we got to do what we got to do. 1 7/8 because we already did the math of sort. Now, if I was confident that I could get away with it, I would just wet these pieces and mold these pieces and leave the other ones dry. But I don't think that's going to work because I don't think the glue will stick. Yeah, right down the hard spot, right in the center. Well, it should still work. Okay, so now we have to come up with 6 3/4 on one end and 10 inches on the other. So we got 4. So we need 3 inches on each end. So this is a 17. See that? Actually, this is a better bending piece because there's no hard spot in the middle. Let me look at these at the light. Maybe we'll choose some different pieces, even if they're heavier. I should have done this one before. These are 19s. These are going to be hard through and through. Then use those on the flaps or on the fly. That's 18. That's an 18. And that's that. If you were here, you could see that it's light right through the center. So these two pieces were not the right pieces to use. Now this one here has some goofy grain, but we use those as the cutoffs. This one here has goofy grain. Hard spot right through the center. Hard spot. Hard spot. Okay, so these two are going to be our centers. We'll mark, I mean, there's no big deal that they're marked. We'll just, I don't want to use these as centers, so we'll put that on there. But they're good to go for the angle pieces, so that's okay. All right, let's trim these up and then mark 1 7/8 on them. Get a center in these. Actually, let's center them up and then trim them off. That way I know I'm going down the, I'm out of the, well, that's light right through this. This is going to be great. Glad I paid attention and did that. So we got 4. So make it 2. Might as well make it easy on yourself. So we'll use this as the outboard. Let's see which way this is cupping. Which way? That's a 17. So it's a good one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have a cup. Put this on the outside. Let's see here. Well, that's a good piece. Straight grain. Yeah, I'm glad I paid attention on that. It's flat, so it doesn't matter which side I put in, which side I put out. Except I could cut that hard spot off the end there. There's a knot right there. Let me cut that off. What time is it? No wonder my stomach is growling. No wonder why Dan's eating. Okay, so we don't need to worry about centers now. We'll just cut the edges. So all I did was trade centers is all. We didn't lose any time or anything. Matter of fact, probably made it better. Remember, you're not more powerful than the wood. The wood is going to do what it wants to do. So try to work in its realm. So if it wants to go left, build left. If you build it right, it's going to go left anyway. If that makes sense. Yeah, well, I'm going to cut that off anyway. Just got to make sure to swap that around. I'm gonna have to make a sandwich, guys, and I'll eat it. I'm not gonna shut the video off. I'll eat and work. My stomach's doing a flip flop, knowing that Dan's eating a steak. I need to drive over there and get some. Okay. All right, give me about 2 minutes to make this bologna sandwich. I thought my stomach was going crazy. You know what? I could have a hot dog instead. Let's have a hot dog instead. Hell with a crappy sandwich. I'll have a bologna hot dog. Do these bad boys again. Can anybody tell me the conundrum why hot dogs come 10 to a pack and buns come 8 to a pack? Ridiculous. They're not very smart. Or maybe they are smart so they can sell more buns or more hot dogs for one. But I don't have any hot dog buns anyway, so. Whew. Now, hot dogs are best steamed in beer, but I don't have any beer. These ain't as good as Brodak 25-cent hot dogs, but. All right, so we take a couple of bites here. Hot. And ballpark hot dogs are good though. But that's convenient. Shop that you can just whip out a hot dog. I can't even do that at home. I'm reading the screen, so if you guys want to type something in, I can see it. That was a quick lunch. Got one more. Thanks for giving me a minute or so to eat a hot dog. My stomach was flipping. Okay, the rundown is find light wood. I think it's A grain. Let's see. Yeah, A grain. We looked at it through the light to find that there was no hard spot in the center. So it'll bend easy. Cut the length. And we're going to figure out the width and get it married together, wetted and wrapped and out in the car. And by tonight, I should be ready to put it on the wing. Because I think it's about 350 degrees out. Okay, lunch is over. Okay. We've already measured this out, so we don't need to make a production out of it. Just cut it off. Okay. The simple things in life. Why do hot dogs come 10 to a pack and buns 8 to a pack? All right, so now we have the centers that we're going to use, and we have two that we were going to use as centers, but have changed our mind, so we can use those as the wings. So we'll do the outboard first. We'll put this aside. We'll get one of the wings here and see if we can make, if I can use 2 sheets instead of 3 for this operation. Why is that not fitting correctly? Because it relieved. That's part of that growing stuff. So, I'll cut it again. Hopefully it doesn't move. Wow, it grew a lot. 1/16 of an inch. So we need to get that tacked up as soon as possible. Tack it up. God, I hope this comes out where I can make that work so I don't have to use extra material. Okay, so let's relieve it and see what it does. So I need 6 3/4. We're going to use this end as the outboard side. So half of 6 3/4 is going to be 3 3/8. 3, and it's probably not going to work. 3 3/8. And 3/8 and half of 10 is 5. So we'll measure from that 5. Nope, it's not going to work. I just don't see that happening. So we're going to waste 2 extra sheets. See, I was hoping I could take this, flip it around, and use it on the other side, but you can't. Not enough material. So I gotta. I don't know. We looked, but I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. Why can't anybody make anything that works and it lasts? Gotta keep monkeying with stuff. That's why I was so hot at Google yesterday. You see the power in that wood? It jumped. Okay, so what I was going to do was flip it over like that, but that's not going to do it. Not going to work. So we got to continue on with using that. So let's use an 18. This is outboard. It'll be on the bottom. That's going to go. This is our center. This is our other one. I could use this, but really shouldn't. What do we got here? What's the weight here? This is 19, but it's pretty nice grain. Let's look in here. It's kind of dark. So we can try that. This is that Australian wood. This is a nice piece of wood. It's just a gram too heavy. But seeing it's on the outboard and it's only a quarter piece, we'll use it there. Underneath quarter of the that, and I don't even have to mate it. It already marries up good. So we'll use that. One less step that I got to play with. Hence the reason for the wax paper. Don't want to glue it to the bench. This is such a nice piece of wood. It's too bad. Oh, there's the hard spot. So let's cut the hard spot out of it. Let's see here. That's why it's 19 instead of 17. It's got a hard spot right here. We'll cut it out. No problem. I might look through that wood some more. Use them for wings instead. Inboard. See if I can find another mate to that one. Okay, it's just tacked. We need to measure 5 inches up. What I say it was 3 3/8. Yep, 3 3/8. I think we need to cut that off. Yeah, we'll just leave it on there. Three 3/8. Everything's done off the center line. It's about an 1/8 inch big, so it doesn't matter. 1/8 inch big, 1/2 inch long. Because you can always trim, but it's very hard to add. Got some power in it. Up here at the hard end. See, it's that much short. If this was a 48, it would have worked. Oh well. So let's see what the wing skin weighs. Then we can weigh the wing and we'll get a guess at what our total wing weight's going to be. Wing should be all together around 10 ounces. Everything. It should be 5 ounces. I built them a little lighter, but not much. So this is outboard. This is outboard. I hope we're on the right track. Each panel weighs 2.6, so a little over 5 ounces per panel, or per wing. So that's 5. Well, let's just say 6. Add the bell crank for 7. Tips 8, and let's add a flap. Oop. That would be 9. And horn. What you see up here right now weighs 4.3 ounces. So we got the horn, the skin, and the flaps. Now, there's going to be a little bit for the landing gear, so we'll say this is 5 ounces. So that's 10 ounces total for a wing. That's pretty good. That includes the flaps, horns, tips, because they added, tips are going to be a 1/4 ounce a piece. I say a 1/2 ounce a piece, so that's this is 4.3 plus a 1/2. Let's say 5. Yeah, it'll be 10 ounces. The wing will be 10 ounces finished. So we're on the right track. I'm not wasting my time. Now, if you look back at Windy videos, he was looking at my Viper. I can't remember the number, 7 or 6 or whatever, and it was underneath the pagoda there, and he said, "This is your best work," which it wasn't, but he's blowing smoke up my skirt. Anyway, when I crashed that airplane, I took the wing out of it and used it in a profile, electric profile build. It's on the channel. That Viper weighed 48 ounces with a PA-65 on a pipe. 48 ounces. That wing complete. So that's everything, all the substructure, all the paint, even the paint. That was a finished wing, weighed 15 ounces. Finished. Paint and all. So if we can get this, around there, I'm on my goal for sub 60. Trust me, this Thunderbolt, if I'm shooting for sub 60, but if we're at 62, I will be ecstatic. Because this is a big, big airplane. Plus, it's going to have big power in it. Believe it or not, this airplane that's on the wall here, let me transfer the camera over. That airplane there is lighter than my Tucker. And my Tucker weighed 58 at the nest. That one's 2 ounces lighter. I can't see it weighing 56, but their scales might be goofy. But I've already made up my mind. I'm going to take and put some more clear on that airplane. So I only have 2 flights on it. And I'm going to just take some Prep-Sol and Prep-Sol it all down. And after I do the gold leaf on the black letters there, I'll go ahead and put 2 more coats of. We were talking to John, and I said, well, we'll do urethane. Nah, I don't think so. I think I'll just use dope. That way it can be repaired. But that's a light airplane. We could see what it weighs. If it's 2 ounces less, I know for sure, on my scale, than my Tucker. And it's got a PA-75 in it. So, all right, let's glue this up. And we'll glue this up, set it aside, build the other skin, and then we'll get it soaking. Oh, man. For you guys who do or are considering doing any molding, don't use ammonia. It breaks down the lignin. It makes the wood brittle. Let's see. I'm looking for the tape. Don't see the tape. Where is the tape? I sanded the taper in this rudder too to get some weight off of it, and it took a few grams off, so. Where is the damn tape? It's usually hanging right there, but it's not. Why? I know I'm going to get my fingers stuck if I don't find the tape. Oh, come on. This is unbelievable. The shop ate it. I don't have any out in the car, I know for sure. I guess they could go look. I'll be right back. I gotta step outside here. Nope, I don't have any tape in the car either. Oh, what the heck. I know damn well I had tape over here. Couldn't find it when I was trying to get them bandages bandaged up. Man, come on. Oh, got it. Got some. This is old crappy tape, but it'll work. All right, the tape was for my fingers because this is the part that sucks. Okay, right down the center of this, we put some CA, push it together, rub it in. Oh no, yeah, there we go. Now Hunt's using white glue for this now. I guess you can do that if you want to wait. But okay, we about got one skin ready to go. The next step is to lightly sand the inside. You don't want to sand all the glue off, but sand the inside, knock down the high spot, turn it over and sand the outside, and that's the last time you're going to sand it. So now I need to find the sanding block. God. It's absolutely terrible working here. I guess we can use this one. Durablock. Okay, let's get it up off the paper. Ha ha ha. Sure. I'll have to run this air conditioner some more. Well, I'll have to get another piece. Shot now. Okay, you gotta sand all that crap off of there. Put a new piece of sandpaper on this. Kind of dead. Perfect. That's what my dad would say. It has to be perfect. Or at least close enough for who it's for. I try to get stuff perfect, but you know what? Nobody's perfect. Even those so-called front row 20 pointers or whatever, I can point out the flaws. You just ain't looking hard enough if you don't see them. Or know where to look. If I ever judge appearance again at the Nats, I might do an experiment to see if human nature really is what I think it is. And Jim, I know you're watching. I would love for you to help me if I ever judge appearance again. Help me judge appearance. It really takes a builder to know what you're looking for. I think it's about ready here. Now I can see that, but I can't feel it. It sure would make me feel a lot better if I couldn't see it. I can see and feel that. We gotta get that off. Remember, because there's no rush on this airplane, I'm trying to do the finest job I possibly can do. Because I really like this airplane. Other airplanes, you know, I'm kind of pressed for time. I gotta, you know, but I got airplanes to fly. I got lots of airplanes to fly. This one here is a challenge to see if I can make that weight. That's pretty damn good. So, now, I'm going to do something a little different than I normally do. Before I dump this, I'm going to let the Windex, I'm going to wipe this with Windex in the center. And we're going to see if that loosens up the center sheeting a little more. Outboard. I'll let you know how it works. Experiments. Okay, so we got that. Get the Windex. Let this soak while I'm making the other skin, and let's see if that helps loosen that wood up there. It may. The other pieces will just be done with water. I'm going to soak this in the tub for a few minutes, but I just want to loosen up this center section just a little. It feels like it's going to do it too. Almost feels like I could mold it with just that. That'd be great if I could. Let's try that. Right before your eyes, a new technique is born. I had my steam box down. I could just stick this in the steam box and let her rip. Go ahead and loosen it all up. The reason I want to do this way is it'll dry a whole lot faster if I don't have to get it all wet. I think that'll work. All I can do is break, and then I just have to wet it anyway. Glue it and wet it. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. That's cool. That's cool. I have to monkey around with that other crap. Okay, we need some tape again. Yes, I'd use hot water. That's how I normally do it. I don't use vinegar. I just use hot water. But guess what? I just figured this way here works just as good. You saw it right before your eyes. First time I ever done it this way. We won't be trying that with the fuselage skins though. They're too compound. This is straight form molding. It should be no problem. So it's two firsts for me on this airplane. Never used bed sheets as wrap and never did it this way. But it looks like it works perfect. Didn't crack, split, bent easy. Of course, that was wood selection too. If I'd have had that other, damn, if I'd have had that other hard wood where I couldn't see through it, I don't think it would have worked as good. Except I can't get the tape to stick to this fly. Stick. Stick. Don't want to stick. So, do it this way. I don't know why you tried to beat me. You're not going to beat me. That tape will not stick to that wood. It ain't wet. I think the tape is just bad. Let's try that other tape I had. That was crap tape. Where'd it go? Nope. That don't matter. Just got to get it started. Hold it there while I wrap it. Jeez. Unreal. Okay, you're back to the beating me syndrome. So let's use one of these wraps and we'll just wrap it up. See what happens. So, because I didn't use any water, this should dry about 10 times faster. I don't have a third hand, so I'm going to have to do this by myself. That worked pretty good. Pretty darn good. Okay, what's the story here, Larry? I'll tell you what, I'm using these bed sheets on this build, but I don't think I like it. They don't have the elasticity that the Ace Bandage does, so it doesn't want to go where I want it to go. We'll use it, like I say, we'll use it on this build, but I think I'm going to go back to Ace Bandages regardless of cost. Just kind of like, why do I buy Snap-on tools? Because they're the best. I don't have to dick around. So thanks, Al, but I'm not real satisfied with this. like I say, it worked, but barely. So I think I got a couple ace bandages in the drawer here. We'll go back over the top of this. Pin this here. So don't come unraveled. Where did I put them? Get the Dremels, belt cranks, and BS out of the way. Ah, there's one right there. Okay, let's let her rip with a real ace bandage. You can see these been around for a while. Well, I don't know if it shows up in the camera, but they're pretty grody. A lot of balsa dust and crap on it. There we go. So, for you guys out there, try it out, Rave's sheet method. I don't like it. You may like it. It's certainly going to be a lot cheaper than ace bandages, but my suggestion is use the ace bandage. They leave a little pattern in the wood, but man, so much easier to use than that crappy bed sheet. I knew it. Either one of them not quite long enough to go around all that stuff. So, we have one other alternative. Bring that in tight. Okay, let that one set to dry. If you'll notice here, I have a center line on this and a center line on the sheeting, and it matches on both sides. That's what those center lines are for, so that you don't get your wing in a twist. Okay, let's do another sheet, I guess. Been on 2 hours. Let me take a drink of water though. I'm thirsty. Berry. Let's try kiwi. You guys tried this Propel water? Now this I buy Propel, but it's pretty expensive. This is Dasani. It's cheap, like $2 a million bottles. But I get these Propel packets, and they're electrolytes, and they're pretty tasty. This one is strawberry kiwi, or kiwi strawberry, whatever. Really good out at the field when you're dehydrated. Water is good for you. It just tastes so bland. It's like drinking nothing. No sugar. Well, next weekend's the contest in Dayton. Saturday is classic and all the other nonsense stuff. Classic, profile. Haven't flown that in over but a couple of flights. I'm wondering if I should enter it just to have something to fly. That's the one that I built on the web. And they sold it to Jerry, and Jerry passed away, and I got back. We'll leave his number on it. Put mine across the wing. I don't know. He's put death paint on it, that 2K can paint. Oh yeah. Kiwi strawberry, good stuff. You know what? I've been on 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think I'll take a break. And we'll come back. Let's see, it's 2 o'clock now. I'll be back in 2 hours. How about that? 4 o'clock, we'll run till 6, I guess, and then I can eat dinner, unwind. I will probably make this other skin, not probably, I'm going to make this other skin offline. And anybody that wants to see how that skin was made can go back. I mean, it's a 2-hour video. They get pretty lengthy, and they lose metrics when you guys don't like, subscribe, share, and comment. Make sure you leave a comment in the box after the video is over, because that really helps move the channel as well. Super chats. This is what I found out with metrics so far. Watch time, super chats, and engagement, which is a like or a comment in the comment box, move the metrics. All the other stuff that people have suggested don't. So, because I can see the analytics. So if you drop a comment in the box after this video is over, whether you liked it or not, doesn't matter whether you liked it or not. If you leave a comment, that helps the metrics. So we're going to take a break. 2 hours and 12 minutes. I've had enough. We got one skin done. I'll make up the other one while watching TV, and we'll be back around 4 o'clock. All right, we'll see you then. See ya.